You know me, I would rather wear a t-shirt, jeans, go in a fast car on a winding road than wear corporate clothes on a Monday morning, attend these kind of meetings. But there are times when I like to clean up a bit because the car demands it. I can't really be doing three-piece suits, but I do clean up enough to tell the world I'm going to be driven around. Just the way the white limo that pulled up in the Ritz-Carlton's grand driveway to pick me up. It had a little more gleam and a few more premium yet elegant touches to tell the onlookers that this was more than the regular S-Class, which is fast becoming a common sight thanks to its technical prowess. Of course, your car needs to be an extension of you. But cars like these define you. This then is the Mercedes-Maybach S580. Of course, a Maybach needs to push that technology envelope further, because if only having the three M's was enough, that emblem would flaunt itself on the bonnet. 5.3 meters long, the S-Class is already quite a long car. The Maybach is longer still. That's 5.5 meters. Now, a lot of you will say, even at 5.5, this flagship is still not as long as the Maybach 62, the car that introduced the Maybach mark to a lot of us. And since I've made a mention to the 62 now, this car's bonnet, you'll see a three-pointed star on it, like most other Mercedes-Benz cars. Like most other new Maybach cars, the three M's find their way on the C-pillar. And the other way to distinguish this car are these beautiful alloy wheels, which are actually an option. And I hope you tick them when you pick up one of these. I'm still a t-shirt wearing simpleton, so I can't help but compare that the four monoblock wheels are rather expensive and yet they cost lesser monies than a pair of Maybach branded champagne flutes. These wheels not only accentuate the grandeur of the Maybach but also sit a few millimeters apart to afford the Maybach a longer cabin. Being a Maybach, it has all the luxury appointments that you can think of. Napa leather, quilted pattern, this beautiful ambient lighting. I think one of the best expressions of ambient lighting that I've seen, not just in a car of this order, but in any car whatsoever. It also has different color and material options to suit your taste. And then, of course, there is the first class seating. Oh, and so that you can be at peace, the cabin is secured with 13 airbags, including one in the seat belt. Now, massage function for the executive seat, for the driver's seat, this is something that we've seen in a lot of cars. The Maybach goes a step further by giving you massage functions also in these little calf supports. Now, the seats also have the heating and the cooling function as you'd expect, but the Maybach again goes a step further. You can have a heating function around the neck and the head in case you want to warm these pillows and get a good snooze. How can my review be complete without nitpicking? I'm in such an expensive car, a Maybach, but there is no cup holder at the rear. So essentially, I can't have anything from cups. It has to be bottles only, which can go in the bottle holders in the door. But I think if you are getting the 580 from the options list, two things that you should definitely get in this cabin is one, the tunnel console for the rear, which also gives you the tables, and of course the refrigerator which goes right here so that you can cool your drinks, have your wines and your champagnes. The magic doors or the comfort doors that I showed you, which use those gesture controls, they make use of 3D cameras and laser assisted sensors to make sure that these functions also work in dim lighting conditions. And if you'd rather not use the gestures, not wave your hands around that way, you can simply touch the outer door handle and that will close the door, or you can use the switch inside to open or close the door also. Being based on the S-Class, everything you touch and feel in the cabin not only feels expensive, but also feels new age, down to the visual texture of the ambient lighting. So there are 4 ways in which you can control some of the functions inside this car, depending on the function, of course. One is the old school way, the human way, where either you or your chauffeur can press some mechanical switches and get the work done. The other way is to go touchscreen, where you can use this tablet to get some work done. The third way is the digital way, where you can ask the digital assistant to do some work for you. And the fourth way to do it is, of course, the gesture controls. And once you get used to it, you realize that it's actually one of the fastest ways to do it. I wonder what's next. Maybe an S-Class that reads your mind? Does all these functions even before you tell it to? Who knows? Honestly, Mercedes-Benz has a big lineup of efficient 4, 5, 6-cylinder engines which could have easily done duty even in a car of this order. But then again, this is a Maybach. A V8 or a V12 just go perfectly well with the positioning. They give it the distinction over the regular S-Class. Make sure that the Maybach is higher up in the hierarchy. And maybe that is why the V12 lives on in the new S680, while the S580 seen here is motivated by a humble V8. Humble because it operates with elan, putting power down in a clean and dignified manner. But when you are in the mood, it will send those horses as enthusiastically as a V8 should. How does a 0 to 100 time of under 5 seconds sound? Sounds like a V8 to me, quite literally. There's the puddle light, but that puddle light is only for the front seat or the front door. It's not for the rear doors. I think, like some of the other luxury cars, they should have done a proper carpet lighting. That would have been perfect for this class of car. Just those 3 M's, don't do it for me. But come on, it's a V8 under the hood. What is this engine sound? How can it be so silent? I know it's a Maybach. I know it has to be silent, but come on, please, for the love of the petrol engines, it's a V8. Give us that V8 sound. Give us the V12 sounds. We love them. We still adore them. We worship them. Again, nitpicking. That then is quite a refined engine. Cruising through the crowded city streets or elegantly wafting down the highway is what such a Maybach will do for most of its life, and that it does extremely well. The cabin keeps its occupants inert of the road imperfections with such grace that it will give many SUVs a run for their money. It is astonishing how quickly the rear suspension reacts to any undulation encountered at the front wheels to keep the boss seat well cushioned. On the rare occasion that you get behind the wheel and maybe awaken the deeper layers of the V8, you will notice that the electronics work meticulously to safeguard the luxurious ride of the car, discreetly curbing the power to keep things tidy and elegant. That is when you realize that you probably need to change the drive mode to Sport to really enjoy the V8. With the new generation of electronics that respond so fast to driver inputs, the Maybach S580 can put an older S-AMG to shame with how quick and fast it can go around the bends despite that massive size. It also gives you the option to choose a rear wheel steering system that will practically shorten the wheelbase when hitting winding roads or simply making U-turns to ensure that the Maybach remains agile and practical despite its size. So as of today, if you were to book the S680, the one with the V12, you'd have to wait 2 years for it. Yes, 2 years. Whereas the 580, that can be had in a relatively smaller 4 months' time. The shorter waiting period for it is the fact that this car is locally assembled right here at Mercedes-Benz. And Mercedes-Benz tells me that most individuals buying the new S-Class Maybach are in their 40s. And I think by the time the next batch of the S680s would be delivered to these 40-year-olds, the S-Class itself would be readying for what could be its swan song edition. But speaking of the next generation S-Class, I don't even know if it will have petrol and diesel engine options, because you see, Mercedes-Benz has already gone on record and said that they want to go all electric by 2030, which means that the second generation of the EQS might actually be the next S-Class. From that perspective, these Maybach models and their updates that will follow could be the last of their kind and maybe even become collector's items. It's a shame I didn't have the V12 powered S680 at my disposal today. And a bigger shame that at 40, I still don't make enough money to buy one of these. Maybe it is something to do with choosing t-shirts over tuxedos.